Greetings! Today we're going to be taking a look at AR-15 bolt carrier group disassembly. Now it's not a complicated process, but for the first time user, the first time you're taking one of these apart, it can be a little intimidating because the AR bolt is kind of busy. There's a lot going on with all the different shapes and doo-woppies and things, whatever. But it's pretty straightforward. First step is, of course, to have the bolt carrier removed from the rifle, and the first thing you're going to want to do is locate the firing pin retaining pin, which is that right there. It's basically a small cotter pin, but without being bent on one end. Just take a tool or your fingernail, some people can do it with their fingernail, and just get that started, and then that just comes right out. Put that to the side. And now the firing pin can be removed. It should slide right out. Put that off to the side as well. Make sure it doesn't roll away. Now we can remove the bolt cam pin, which is going to be located here underneath the gas key. In the operational position, it's locked under the gas key, but to disassemble, you turn to the side like that. And then it should drop right out. There we go. And there's a hole in it for the firing pin to go through to strike the primer. And now the bolt itself slides right out of the carrier. There'll be a little resistance due to the gas rings. If you got a good seal on the gas rings anyway. If it's a real loose fit, the gas rings are probably out of spec, probably need to be replaced. And that's that. And the carrier group is now completely disassembled. To take it a step further, you can remove the extractor, from the bolt itself. And this is the actual bolt, this is the bolt carrier, in case you were not too up on the nomenclature. But to remove the ejector, all you got to do is there's a little pin here. Just get that started, and she should slide right out of there. Helps to push down on the ejector, or the extractor, a little bit. And then sometimes you can just kind of push down on the extractor and the pin will slide out like that. And then there's the extractor. And mine is filthy. And that's the basically completely disassembled bolt. The ejector itself can be removed, but there's a small roll pin, if you can see through that, right there. And it's kind of a pain to get out. It's really not necessary unless you need to either replace your ejector spring or the ejector itself. That's not very common. You'll probably end up replacing the bolt before you do that anyway. So for reassembly, you just get your extractor back in position. There's a spring on the end of it. Sometimes there's an O-ring there. It seems to be more of a band-aid for just bad extractors. I've never seen the need to use one. But just get your holes lined back up. Reinsert the pin. Push down on the extractor a little bit to get it started. And then you can just slide the pin back in place. I try to get it as even as possible because I'm kind of OCD like that. And then the bolt is reassembled. Now you can slide that back into the carrier group. Make sure you have the bolt like so, with the extractor on the right hand side of the bolt carrier, as it would be installed in the rifle. And then there should be some slight resistance on the gas rings again to reinstall the bolt. Slides in there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's the cam pin hole in the bolt. Need to try and line that up with the slot in the carrier underneath the gas key. And then you take your cam pin bolt, drop it right in there, turn it to the operational position, So it locks itself under the gas key, and so there's a hole available for the firing pin to drop through and strike the primer. Grab your firing pin, reinstall, which can be a little tricky. You got to get it into the back of the bolt. There we go. That slides right down in there. And then you just reinstall your firing pin retaining pin. And that's it. That's reassembled AR-15 bolt carrier group. Thanks for watching.